Hey, hello, I'm Gabriel from Black Rainbows and Heavy Psych Sounds Records, and you're listening to Doomed and Stoned Latino America. Bye bye.
Hola, bienvenidos a Doom and Stone Latinoamérica. Mi nombre es Román Tamayo y continuamos con esta serie de especiales visitando a nuestros artistas favoritos alrededor del mundo. El día de hoy tengo el privilegio de entrevistar a Gabriel de los Black Rainbows y por supuesto el patrón, el jefe de Heavy Psych Sounds Records. So, hello Gabriel, welcome to the show.
Hola, Roman. Hola, everybody. Really glad to be here with you guys. Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you so much for your time. Well, the first question is about how do you discover rock and roll? How do you discover music? If you have some memories from the first time that you listen rock and roll and how this changed your life.
Yeah, I think I started when I was a kid, 7 years old, listening to Iron Maiden, and I was really touched by the graphics. And so I started to listen to some rock music. And I'm born in 1979, so it was like 87, 86, 87. So I started to like listening also to like Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses. And then I was hit by the grunge. I was 12, 13 years old. I mean, at that time, things were coming a bit later. So like maybe, Nevermind from Nirvana was out in end of 91, probably early 92. And it arrived. I mean, the record was established here later. It took like 1 year, 1.5 years. And since that moment, I mean, I have the fortune to see Soundgarden, Fade No More, and Guns N' Roses when I was 12 in a fucking big stadium. Was Bad Motor Finger album. I didn't like too much Soundgarden at that time because I was into more melodic stuff. But right after, I was 12, so right after I started really digging everything. And my cousin, which was 10 years older than me, he discovered Caius and all the alternative side of the grunge, so White Zombie, Danzig, Soundgarden, Caius, Screaming Trees, Dinosaur Jr. So you had all this mainstream grunge with Nirvana and Pearl Jam, but also all these, let's say, smaller bands, and what comes next, which was the sons of the Caius. So Fu Manchu, Nebula. When I was a teenager, so I was hit by all these bands. So really, since the beginning, I was start listening to all this bands from the desert, California desert, the desert scene, and has been pretty interesting.
Hey, this is Chris from Acid Mammoth, and you are listening to Doomed and Stoned Latino America.
Estamos de regreso en este especial con Gabriel de Heavy Psych Sounds Records y los Black Rainbows. Le preguntamos cómo fue su primer acercamiento con el rock and roll y cómo lo marcó, cómo lo cambió. Bueno, nos dice que él nació en el 79 y bueno, cuando tenía en el 86 más o menos, pues estaba escuchando la Def Leppard, los Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, a todas esas bandas más melódicas, metalosas. Y dice que en el 91 fue cuando llegó el grunge con todo a Italia, justamente gracias a Nirvana. Y cuando él tenía 12 años, pues bueno, le tocó ver uno de estos conciertazos en estadios donde estaba Guns N' Roses, Soundgarden y Faith No More. Y tenía un primo que era 10 años mayor que él. Dice que cuando vio a Soundgarden pues no le gustó mucho porque pues no estaba mucho en esa música, pero gracias a su primo que era mayor que él, pues bueno, descubrió muchas bandas como White Zombie, Caius, Dinosaur Jr., Danzig. Y pues bueno, justamente cuando él era ya un adolescente, pues él ya sabía que era Caius y esto lo llevó sin duda a descubrir a otras bandas como Nebula y Fu Manchu. Entonces él ha estado muy pegado a estos sonidos de California desde que era muy joven. Vamos a continuar con nuestra entrevista aquí en Doom and Stone. Ya se la sabe, gócela. Talking about the 90s, do you remember some bands that started this movement in Italy? I mean, talking about stoner, doom sounds, heavy, psychedelic stuff.
Yes. I mean, it's funny because Italians, marketing wise, they are not so good. But actually, we have good bands. We always had good bands. So we had like Detzel Folks, probably was 96, 97. They toured with Nebula and they did a split together. And it was Mansorin Records. Detzel Folks, which is a guy from Claudio from south of Italy. And then UFO Mammoth, I think they started a little bit later, maybe early 2000, but great band. And then you have Vortice Cremisi, another small band, nice one. Then you had, I mean, from the 90s. And we had like we have Paul Chain.
Yes, of course, a big legend.
It was like really, it was playing Doom really at the early stages of the Doom. So, I mean, we had some, but the scene was not existing. I remember when I was playing shows, even in 2008, 2009, 2010, I mean, really underdogs.
Yeah.
I mean, the stoner shows were something not. I mean, I saw Nebula, I saw Gorilla, I saw really in I mean, average clubs, but all the time with 6 people, 10 people, witchcraft. And slowly, I mean, things changed around 2013, 14 with the Desert Fests, with the vinyl came back. And I don't know, I mean, with all these bands coming, I mean, like Cadaver, Blues Pills, Graveyard, and all the old bands like Acid King and all the other bands coming back. I mean, they never stopped actually touring.
That's right, they never stopped to touring. And now I want to ask you about Heavy Psych Sounds Records. In my personal opinion, this label is one of the most important, focus on stoner doom. Maybe, this is just me, Roman, is the biggest label now around the world. But tell us what happened in Italy, how Italy became the home of these sounds and the home of this amazing label.
Let me say that for sure, if you see, I mean, I don't feel like to be, in terms of heavy psych, stoner, doom, occult rock, whatever it is, call it, I don't feel like to belong to Italy, okay?
Yeah.
I believe we have good bunch of audiences all around the world, okay? I mean, if you see maybe in Italy, I was talking today with a friend of mine and we were talking, maybe in Italy there are like a bunch of hundreds of fans, not so many. Then you have Germany with maybe 2,000-3,000 fans, and then you have UK, and they're all over. You don't have like a very compact. And I don't feel like, I mean, Italy has any kind of particular impact on this. I mean, we are kind of a big family. So when you see, for example, in a festival, like for example Desert Fest or I don't know Freak Valley Fest, you can see there are like Italian, Belgians, Austrian, Switzerland people, German people, English people. I mean, from all over the. So I don't think that the territory itself gives anything special to this. For sure, I'm proud of what we are doing because it's crazy to work with all these bands, and of course, this. I mean, the heritage of this music comes from United States, TP Records, Small Stone Records. I mean, these are all. I mean, TP Records. I would have cut my finger to be on TP Records like 10, 12 years ago. I mean, I was asking to the guys, I will pay for everything I want to be in your label. It was crazy. But I think also is a kind of. I mean, things changes. And the market changes all the time, constantly changes, and for sure, this is the golden age of this genre. And I think we're working good as workers for serving this platform, this scene.
Estamos de regreso en este Doom and Stone especial sobre Heavy Psych Sound Records, entrevista con Gabriele Fiori de los Black Rainbows. Y bueno, le preguntamos también acerca ya de cómo era la escena en aquellos años, el inicio del stoner rock en Italia. Y pues bueno, nos platica de algunas bandas, de algunas piezas importantes que crearon esta escena, pero dice que antes del 2013 era súper mal todo, no había muchas bandas, muchos lugares para tocar. Entonces pues bueno, él dice que en el 96 la banda That's All Folks, eso es todo amigos, como diría Bugs Bunny, fue la primera, como de las primeras que empezó a salir. Estuvieron de tour con Nebula y de hecho hicieron un split con Nebula, creo que fue el primer split que lanzó Nebula oficialmente. Y después en esos años, en los 90s, pues también apareció UFO Mammoth y estaba el Paul Chain, que bueno, más adelante les vamos a platicar anécdotas sobre Paul Chain. Y pues bueno, hasta el 2009 dice que pues bueno, él le tocó pues ir a shows donde estaba Gorilla, Nebula y que había 6, 8 personas. Entonces que a partir del 2013, cuando se crea el Desert Fest y este boom del vinil, pues las cosas empiezan a cambiar, empieza a crecer todo, hay una nueva escena, bandas como Cadáver, Blues Pills, por supuesto bandas legendarias como el Acid King continúan tureando. Entonces eso hicieron que la escena creciera y que hubiera pues un mayor mercado para todo este tipo de sonidos. Y le preguntamos del caso de Heavy Psych Sounds Records, que ¿por qué Italia? ¿Qué tenía Italia de especial? Y dice que no veamos a Heavy Psych Sounds Records como si fuera de Italia, como si Italia tuviera algo especial. Heavy Psych Sounds Records pues es una comunidad y bueno, está basada en Italia, pero representa a todo el mundo, representa a bandas de Alemania, de otras partes, por ejemplo de Bélgica, de Inglaterra. Dice que hay muchos fans alrededor del mundo. Entonces pues esto es una comunidad y no, Italia no tiene nada especial. Dice que por supuesto que ha crecido mucho en los últimos años, hay más sellos, hay más bandas, pero pues que no es considerable, ¿no? Que solo es el hecho de que viven ahí y que pues se siente orgulloso de ser parte de esta comunidad. También dice que pues hace 10 años él le hubiera gustado ser firmado por TP Records, era como su sello favorito, su sello más grande, y pues que ahora gracias a que pues no pasó eso, pues hizo Heavy Psych Sounds y pues ahora hay una mayor diversidad, ¿no? de sonidos. Y pues bueno, finalmente también nos dice el Gabriel que estamos viviendo la época dorada de estos sonidos del stoner, del doom, y concuerdo totalmente, es el mejor tiempo para estar vivo, las mejores bandas están saliendo ahora, así que pues lo que podemos hacer es siempre apoyar, ir a los shows, comprar discos y mantener esta comunidad viva y pues girando, por supuesto. Vamos a continuar con esta entrevista, ya regresamos aquí a Doom and Stone.
Hi, this is Tommy from Dozer in Greenleaf, and you're listening to Doomed and Stone Latino America. Stay heavy.
So, and let me say, but in every country, I mean, there are many entities and realities. And I mean, Italy, there's not only HPS, we have like Electric Ballet, we have Argonauta, we have Go Down Records. I mean, there are at least 4 or 5 labels, bigger or smaller, but I mean, there's something going on. It's not a big thing, but I mean, there are, I mean, very good band. You have UFO Mammoth, you have Mesa, you have I don't know, all the bands from 1782 and Jobia. I mean, and different kind. We have doom bands, we have heavier bands, or I mean more psychedelic bands, as it is in many other countries. If you go in France, they have nice bands. If you go UK, they have very good bands of any kind. I mean, and I think we're a part of the puzzle. You know, we're a piece of the puzzle. Italy, as Austria, Germany, Denmark, Belgium, Netherlands.
You know, it's really interesting how each country or each local scene create these bands, and these bands became more bigger and bigger, and they start to go outside and create these amazing networks with labels, with festivals around the world, and at the end we have this beautiful scene around the world. So thank you so much, because you are part of this work, this project. And also, talking about Paul Change, I want to share with you a story. Usually, not much people know about this story, but in the 90s in Mexico exists a collective, art collective called Semefo. So basically they create this live performance with music focused on death, sorrow, pain, depression, etc. But the guys who play in this collective travel to Italy, and they met to Paul Chain and worked together in an album called Larvarium. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but well, thanks to Paul Chain, in Mexico we have one of the first Doom songs called Church of Death. So actually Paul Chain play during this song. And as can you see, in Mexico we have this relationship between Italy and Mexico, focus on doom and dark and heavy stuff. So I just want to share the story with you and how important is Italy for us as Mexicans. And now we have Heavy Psych Sounds Records, and we start to creating this strange relationship, bringing the label to Mexico, the records to Mexico. So I think that's fantastic.
Oh, it's a crazy story. Yes.
Yeah,
Because that time was pretty, not usual at all. Yeah.
Well, another question for you is, do you think in some point any band from Mexico, Latin America will be able to work with you? Do you think this will happen soon?
There's no border about from a band from where it is. I mean, it's all about music sometimes, but we also need to look about I mean, what I realized in the music business, because I mean, this is also music business. I really try to be as much as friendly possible with the bands, but also you need to look at how things need to be. And for sure, a band need to work his ass a lot. And sometimes it's the band need to bring something, okay, like a gift to the label. So the band need to expose himself, need to work a lot. Really, you need to have ideas on how to promote yourself. And today you have all the social media. I mean, you can do a lot. You can tour a lot. You can expose your name and yourself and your music a lot. So for sure, this is something the band need to do to bring. So it's not about Latin America. I love Latin America. I love Mexico. I would like to. And by the way, the band, which is the trio working with Electric Valley.
Electric Mountain.
I loved that album. I wasn't sure 100% to do it, and I think I passed it to Marco at Electric Valley because I was looking to do it. Also, it's a lot about really it's about the market and how things going in that moment. For example, for a part of the label, I was looking for bigger names. So I really need bigger names. I really need bands known with a name. And when finally I've got like the chance to work with 1, 2, 3, 10 bands, then I said, okay, now let's find some good bands I really like. And I mean, most of the times the bands I like, they're not known probably. And I mean, sales are not so good. And you need to be careful on how many releases you do with your heart. And also because the structure of the label is different now from like a boutique label. We have a distribution. We have a lot of people to pay every month. Prices are raised up 25% on the pressing since last year. And we didn't touch any price. We kept everything. We've got raises all over. So I'm not complaining because I just work harder. So we just offer more T-shirts, more records, just to, try to keep the thing safe. Because if you stop working, I mean, you can really, that's the chance that you go down.
What's up, all you stoners and doom heads? This is Nick from the band Elder, and you're listening to Doomed and Stoned Latino America.
Estamos de regreso en este Doom and Stone. Estamos platicando con Gabriel de Heavy Psych Sounds Records y los Black Rainbows. Y bueno, también nos cuenta un poco sobre los sellos que hay ahorita en Italia. Estamos retomando justo la parte donde dice que Heavy Psych pues le pertenece al mundo, no hay como algo tan especial en Italia, pero pues nos menciona que sí hay algunos sellos como Argonauta Records, Electric Valley, Go Down y algunas bandas increíbles como 1972, Jovia, por supuesto los legendarios UFO Mammoth. Y pues bueno, obviamente Italia es parte de este rompecabezas de la llamada escena Stoner Doom a nivel mundial. Se han creado varias redes entre pues todos estos colectivos. Y bueno, en el caso de México platicamos justamente que Electric Valley tiene una relación muy fuerte, ha firmado varias bandas de acá. Ahorita los últimos fueron los Electric Mountain, lo cual pues está bastante chido. Y pues bueno, también le platicamos un poco sobre esta historia de Paul Chain con su relación en Semefo, este colectivo que se creó en los 90 donde estaba Teresa Margoles. También estaba Charlie, que ahora toca en Los Garrobos, tocó en Humus. Y pues bueno, este colectivo se enfocaba más a la muerte, a la destrucción, por decirlo de alguna forma, todo lo mundano, todas esas partes obscuras del ser humano. Y pues bueno, hicieron una exposición muy fuerte donde disecaban caballos, los diseccionaban. Y pues bueno, hicieron un carrusel con estos caballos, también los diseccionaron diferentes piezas y pues bueno, estaban expuestas como en vidrios, no parte por parte, y tú veías todo en conjunto y pues bueno, era el caballo armado. Y pues bueno, este colectivo se fue, o los músicos que estaban en ese colectivo se fueron con Paul Chain. Y pues gracias a Paul Chain tenemos una de las primeras canciones de Doom en México, Church of Death, donde toca él justamente con los de Semefo. Y pues bueno, le platicamos al Gabriel de esta relación tan estrecha que tenemos entre México e Italia. Y finalmente, pues bueno, la pregunta obligada es si Heavy Psych Sound Records va a firmar alguna vez alguna banda latinoamericana, y dice que sin duda que no hay fronteras, que le está abierto, que lo que importa obviamente es que una banda tenga algo especial, hayan dado algo de autopromoción, hayan tureado, hayan hecho un nombre por sí mismos, y que pues una vez que están como en este nivel pues él puede voltear a ver a las bandas y quizás trabajar con ellas, firmarlas. Ahora se está enfocando en grandes nombres porque es lo que mantiene la disquera. Dice que tiene que pagar ahora pues muchos empleados, tiene que pagar muchas cuentas, entonces tiene que ser muy cuidadoso con las bandas que está firmado. Por eso ha escogido bandas grandes. Para que pueda editar una banda pequeña tiene que firmar al menos varias grandes para que sostengan el sello. Y pues bueno, algunos nombres ahí es el Nico Liberi, el Bram Bjork, Nebula, Bonzilla, y bueno, y más bandas. Obviamente dice que con toda esta crisis de los viniles y del COVID, pues los precios de producción aumentaron en un 25%. Por eso ahora Heavy Psych está tratando de lanzar un montón de pues de productos como playeras, gorras, salsas y demás cosas, porque de ese dinero pues es como ayudan a sostener la disquera también, porque pues Heavy Psych no aumentó los precios, dice que absorbieron el 25%. Entonces pues bueno, él tiene que pagarle a mucha gente, y pues bueno, esto de tener un sello pues al final del día es un negocio, ¿no? Y hay que verlo como tal. Él dice que también pues se maneja mucho por cómo está el mercado, no puede firmar una banda que puede tener un hit ahora, pero después pues puede que no hagan nada, entonces tiene que ser cuidadoso con lo que está haciendo. Así que bueno, vamos a continuar con este viaje trepidante en esta entrevista con Gabriel de Heavy Psych Sounds Records y por supuesto los Black Rainbows. Ya regresamos aquí al Doom and Stone. Gócela. Well, talking about crisis, we know the vinyl crisis and the price increase. So how it's working now, Heavy Psych Sound, with this problem? And one other question for you is, what's the future for the music industry, talking about physical records? I mean, do you think tapes will back, maybe CDs, or maybe digital is the only option? So can you tell us a little bit about this, please?
So, fortunately, we don't have issues with time, and we plan the releases much time advance. Not only for the pressing itself, it's about the promotion, and it's about to make the things in the right time. I mean, we want to get the albums in time to have it handled in the right way, the stock, the shipping. And so I don't know how it's going to be. I mean, there are sometimes you have, I mean, we've got the pandemic, couple of years. People was at home, not spending $1, euro, or whatever in concerts. But for example, if you think one person going to a 3 days festival, which the ticket is $100, euros, and then you have to pay for your hotel, food, merchandise, and travel. One festival can cost like, I don't know, $1,000, okay, to do a 3 days festival. Consider maybe a fan do 3 festivals per year. We've got 2 years where people were not spending any money for live shows and beers, okay, and food, and they were spending on records. I'm pretty sure of that. I mean, that's my opinion. They didn't spend not even so much money. I mean, compare it to what is the live business. So now people is buying less. It's like 6, 7, 8 months. Things are not so good, and we have the raise of all the prices. And but I mean, it's like the economy. It's going up and down, and you just really need to wait to see if things are getting better, which I hope so. I think so, because you need to think this. Before 2012, 10, this scene was terrible. I mean, it was a black hole. Nobody.
Yes.
So whatever is happening now, even if it's bad, is for sure better than before. So
yeah, you're right.
so I'm very. I mean, this is the best moment. I don't know how it's going to be also, because I mean, all these festivals are like the replica, you know.
Yeah.
The same thing going on and going on and going on. I'm just scared that the audience can be a little bit tired, and maybe we can have a step back a little bit. But the audience is made by people who buy records and don't go to shows. You have people go to shows and don't buy records. You have people, I mean, you have any kind of different audience. So you don't know. There's the generation is changing. I mean, younger people are not. I mean, you see older faces in the festivals.
You know, it's funny because usually the people who attend the Stoner Doom shows are really old people. I'm the young generation, but I'm not exactly young, you know. But yeah, it's really strange. Hopefully the future generations, the new generations, come and discover this kind of sounds. Hopefully, if not, we are going to be the same guys. I mean, on our wheelchairs in front of the stage in a couple of years.
Yeah, consider I was in my town, especially, which is bad. I mean, the audience of my town is bad in my city. And 2-3 years ago was Orange Goblin Saturday night here. Wow. With like Black Rainbow's opening and another local band. So it was like supposed to be a very good night, and we've got like 120 people probably. What? And it was everybody was like up to 40 years old. I was like, what this is like, what this place? There's only old people. I mean, the younger was like couple of guys from 30 years old, and it was like I was feeling bad for these guys. I mean,
yeah, it's really strange. I think the music industry is changing. Rock and roll is not the highest thing like in the past. I mean, big bands like Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, I mean, they don't care anymore. I mean, for example, in Latin America, reggaeton and trap, Bad Bunny, that kind of stuff is the
top. This has always been like this, but I think nowadays is I don't know. Yeah, it's youngers doesn't go too much to
probably. The only metal big band is Ghost right now. We talk about this with a friend. So
really,
Thinking another band who can sell at stadium. I mean, a younger band. No, only Ghost
Oh yeah.
maybe.
Oh yeah. I get it. Yeah, I get your point. Yeah. Yeah, there are no new generations as well.
No.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I know you have a festival on October. So tell us about this festival, Heavy Psych Sounds Fest in Dresden, and also in Berlin.
Berlin and Dresden. I mean, we're trying to do this formula with like not a big festival all the time with like 15, 20 bands. And we are doing, I mean, we did last year, this year actually, we did Los Angeles, San Francisco is the third time, Berlin and Dresden in October. And we did Switzerland and Austria. And before the pandemic, we did London, Paris, Netherlands, and Belgium. And so we try to make a celebration of the label all over, possibly Europe. Looking to do it in New York, supposed to happen in May 2020, but pandemic came. So
yeah, any plans to bring these kind of celebrations to Latin America?
The thing is that I don't have so many contacts. I don't have like a distribution for records. I mean, Latin America is some kind of big thing. I mean, it's big, and you have different countries, and I see how it is. I mean, you fly in the biggest city, right? I mean, the band's coming to, they do like couple of shows in Argentina, maybe 2 in Brazil, 1 in Chile, I don't know, and maybe another, I don't know, in Peru, or I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
It's not really. I mean, if you think like here is very close. Even when I do like Los Angeles, it's like 6-hour driving, and you can do 2 festivals, and everybody is there. So logistically is a bit different, and of course you need to know people, but maybe you can be the promoter for the first HPS Fest in Mexico.
This is Ruben from the Freaks, and you're listening to Doomed and Stoned Latino America.
¿Qué les pareció? Eso fueron los Black Rainbows Desert Sun en vivo. Y bueno, continuamos con esta plática con Gabriel. Y bueno, le preguntamos también justamente cómo ha sobrellevado este tema de la pandemia y también el incremento en los precios de los discos, sobre todo del vinil. Y pues bueno, nos dice que por fortuna ellos no han tenido muchos problemas con esto porque planean con mucho tiempo de anticipación los lanzamientos, todo el tema de la distribución, el envío, el prensado, etcétera, etcétera. Entonces ellos lo han podido sobrellevar de la mejor forma. Pero pues bueno, también nos pone en contexto, ¿no? Cuando empezó el COVID, irónicamente es cuando más discos pudieron vender porque la gente no iba a shows, no gastaba en transporte, en comida, entonces pues todo el dinero que tenían ahí parado pues lo compraban en discos. Ahora dice que debido a la crisis económica, que es más caro el vinil, pues bueno, las ventas han caído considerablemente, pero pues bueno, entiende que es algo normal, es parte de la economía. Y pues bueno, también nos dice que entre 2010 y 2012 esta escena estaba muerta, era un hoyo negro, entonces obviamente a pesar de que hay problemas ahorita está mucho mejor que en aquellos años, entonces él está muy feliz y bueno, a pesar de los problemas él cree que estamos en el mejor tiempo, los años dorados, y yo también creo que son los años dorados del Stoner y del Doom. Y también platicamos un poco sobre las nuevas generaciones, que es muy difícil que descubran estos sonidos. Obviamente la mayoría de las personas que atienden estos shows, que van a los shows, pues son gente mayor, ¿no? 30, 40, 50 años. Entonces, pues dice que su ciudad, un día tocó Orange Goblin con los Black Rainbows y nada más había 120 personas y la mayoría eran señores de más de 40 años, lo cual pues era una locura. Y pues bueno, platicamos sobre cuál es el futuro de la música. No sabemos si el rock and roll va a seguir siendo rentable. Hablábamos justamente de esta diferencia generacional y pues bueno, yo le ponía de ejemplo que quizás la única banda que puede llenar un estadio ahora es Ghost, y pues bueno, es una banda relativamente joven. Entonces fuera de Ghost, pues bueno, no sé qué otra banda joven puede hacer esto de llenar estadios, turear y bueno, no sé, es bastante oscuro el panorama, pero pues bueno, está chido que esto siga siendo el underground. Obviamente, pues bueno, platicamos sobre el nuevo festival que van a hacer en octubre en Dresden y en Berlín. Dice que alrededor de 15 o 20 bandas son las que siempre tocan este circuito y que lamentablemente no se pudo hacer el show de Los Ángeles, pero pues espera que se retomen los shows de Heavy Psych, los festivales. Y pues bueno, la pregunta obligada es si va a traer estos festivales a México, y dice que le es muy difícil porque no tiene muchos contactos, no hay mucha gente que distribuya el material en México y aparte la logística es brutalmente difícil. Tendría que hacer un show entre Argentina, Chile, Perú, México, y bueno, dice que son vuelos muy largos, muy caros y que lo ve bastante difícil, que la ventaja de Europa es que todo el mundo está cerca y pues bueno, en unas 3, 4 horas pues bueno, manejando llegas de un lado a otro. Entonces pues bueno, no lo descarta, pero quizás no es el momento ahora para hacerlo. Vamos a continuar este especial con el Gabriel de Heavy Psych Sounds Records. Y bueno, nos queda un último bloque, espero lo disfruten. Ya se la sabe, gócela.
Hola, this is Mario Lally from Yawning Man and Fatso Jetson, and you are listening to Doomed and Stoned Latin America. Stay well.
Well, Gabriel, let's talk about Black Rainbows. Can you tell us a little bit about the beginning of the band, about your career, and if you have any plans to release a new album? I know you released a live album from Desert Fest, so do you have new plans, a new tour maybe? So tell us a little bit about these Black Rainbows, the other half of your life.
Yes, beginning of the band was 2007. I was playing in another band, but nothing was really happening. So I just created my own band. And as I said at that time, I mean, nothing was happening really in the scene, but I was into this music 100%. So we recorded the first album, which I don't like so much. Not a good recording, not a good, I don't like it so much. But then the second one came. I was pretty happy about that. And we did our first tour. And it was crazy. We opened for Nebula in Germany. We opened for Nebula in 2010, and it was crazy. I mean, it was. Now I work with the guys of Nebula, but at that time, to me, it was big emotion. So good. I mean, no cell phones really. I mean, not connections. So it's still living the real life, all around. It was winter time with a car. I mean, the car really full, exploding, sleeping at people's house. I knew a lot of friends, and that tour was so good. And even if I start touring late, I mean, I was already 31 years old, 32. But that was the first time I was start doing it, because before was not much touring. It was really tricky. And I mean, I didn't have a band before. To bring on tour. And after that, we released another album, and the scene started growing. And I mean, as I said, I'm a big worker, and it really was, I mean, I wanted to play as much as possible and release music. And so, I mean, slowly it came. I mean, we didn't have an audience just because, I mean, like 1 album, 2 albums, it took really a lot of work. And I believe what really, I mean, every album I believe is better than the previous one, or at least is not worse than the previous one. So we arrived at the last 2 albums, which I believe is the best ones, the better recordings. And I mean, living this very good moment, playing festivals. I mean, we never played so many summer festivals, and I mean, the last summers we've been invited here and there. Was good. And we are a bit, I mean, me personally, I'm a bit tired. I really played a lot of shitty shows during the early years, and I'm 43, and I'm not supposed to tour so much, so heavily. I mean, I would like to see more younger bands maybe hit the road, but we do anyway. And we recorded a new album in May, but I was too busy to write the lyrics, and too lazy, and not lazy. I mean, I wasn't driven to do it. I mean, it's another album, which is very good, by the way. I love it. It's going to be a killer album. But I really struggle. In the morning, first thing I have my list of things to do is never ending. And there is write the lyrics. And I skip every day since like 3 months now. So as soon as I have the lyrics ready, we are going to record the vocals, and hopefully, I believe next spring we're going to release the new album.
That's amazing. Great news for all the fans of Black Rainbows. I'm a big fan too. Of course, I really love the fuzz sound, heavy and psych sounds. That's the definition of Black Rainbows. And also, I want to thank you for all your time. I know you're a busy man. And of course, for all your work and support. These scenes start to grow and grow. So thank you so much for continuing to support all the bands around the world. We really appreciate. And of course, we want to ask you if you can offer some final words, some advices for all the fans and the new bands who start a career. Again, thank you so much, Gabriel, and I hope we can talk soon again. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot to you, Roman. You're a very nice person. Thanks a lot. And yeah, let's hope to, bring more heavy psych sounds in Mexico. Bands really need to know that even if you don't have a label, you can do it anyway. You can see a lot of bands like Stone Jesus until like one or two records, they didn't have a label. A lot of bands can do themselves. UFO Mammoth, they just released their music with their own label.
Yeah.
First albums, and I believe other ones. And it's not the label changing the life of a band. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can go with Nuclear Blast or a big label, and if your band is, if your music is not like, it's going to be, but of course HPS can serve the band in a good way. It is good to be part of something, that's for sure.
Hey, hello, I'm Gabriel from Black Rainbows and Heavy Psych Sounds Records, and you're listening to Doomed and Stoned Latino America. Bye bye.
Estamos de regreso en este especial, es hora de decir adiós. Tuvimos a Gabriel de Heavy Psych Sounds Records y los Black Rainbows con nosotros, y finalmente pues bueno, le preguntamos qué onda con los Black Rainbows. Pues nos dice que fue una banda que hizo su primera banda seria. Ahorita acaban de lanzar un álbum en vivo desde Desert Fest, y pues bueno, en mayo terminaron un nuevo disco, pero le faltan las letras. Dice que ha sido algo que ha postergado bastante tiempo, pero pues él cree que va a estar listo en el verano. Así que pues bueno, esperemos que el próximo verano tengamos algo nuevo de los Black Rainbows afuera. Y pues también nos cuenta sobre sus aventuras en el año 2010. Les tocó turear con Nebula, y para él pues fue uno de los momentos más grandiosos de su carrera, porque pues bueno, todos amamos a Nebula, leyendas, una gran banda de California sin duda. Y pues bueno, nos cuenta estas aventuras, cómo se quedaron en casas con amigos, conocieron a muchísima gente en este tour, y bueno, fue algo que los inspiró a continuar trabajando muy duro. Y también al mismo tiempo la escena creció, y pues bueno, esto ayudó mucho a que la banda se estableciera. Dice que han trabajado muy duro, y que quizás en los últimos años, con los últimos 2 discos, es cuando han sentido que la banda ha tenido un crecimiento mayor y una mayor recepción por parte de los fans. Dice que ahora él tiene 43 años, Gabriel tiene 43 años, quiere turear menos y quiere ver más bandas jóvenes en el camino, así que espera que eso pase muy muy pronto. Y pues bueno, finalmente le preguntamos algún consejo para las bandas jóvenes, y pues bueno, dice que todas las bandas pueden hacerlo. Se refiere a armarla, es decir, no necesitas un gran sello atrás de ti. Si tienes calidad, si tu música es buena, si te sabes mover, si sabes estar en el lugar correcto, pues bueno, las cosas van a pasar. Dice que obviamente Heavy Psych Sounds Records ayuda como otros sellos, pero pues bueno, lo puedes hacer tú mismo. Dice que siempre es bueno pertenecer a una familia, y pues bueno, también nos da unas palabras finales para todos ustedes. Recuerden que en México estamos distribuyendo Heavy Psych Sounds Records a través de la disquera LSDR Records. Justamente tenemos un pre-order para todos ustedes, que pues bueno, cierra en unas 2 semanas, para que en octubre podamos tener aquí el material de Heavy Psych Sounds Records. Esperemos seguir con esta alianza por mucho tiempo más. Les mandamos un abrazo, gracias por escuchar donde quiera que estén. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, por supuesto, sáquese algo, ya se la sabe, gócela.